I have been sitting here thinking about this team, and honestly, the Cleveland Browns need to secure a contract extension for safety Grant Delpit before training camp officially kicks off. With the roster transitioning toward a younger core, retaining a veteran leader like Delpit is essential for the stability of our secondary. If the front office lets a cornerstone player walk while potentially shopping Denzel Ward, the defensive identity we have fought to build will simply vanish. The more details come out, the harder it is to ignore what is going on behind the scenes. Smash that like button, subscribe, and comment your name and city. Let's get into it. As we approach the end of July, the Cleveland Browns are preparing to open training camp, an annual ritual that serves as both a preview of the upcoming season and a high-stakes negotiation period for players seeking new deals. The most pressing situation involves safety Grant Delpit, who is entering the final year of his 3-year, $36 million extension. Since being selected by Cleveland in the second round of the 2020 NFL Draft, Delpit has grown into a vital veteran presence on this roster. While the organization has embraced a youth movement, drafting Toledo safety Emmanuel McNeil-Warren in the second round of the 2026 draft, we still desperately need to secure Delpit to pair with our young talents like Ronnie Hickman. The bottom line here is that letting a leader like Delpit walk would be a significant mistake for our secondary. This reality hits home even harder when you consider the shifting landscape of our roster, especially with the trade of Myles Garrett this past June. There is legitimate speculation that cornerback Denzel Ward, who turns 30 next year, could be the next veteran moved as the front office potentially pivots toward the 2027 draft. If Ward is traded by the deadline, the importance of retaining Delpit grows exponentially to ensure we have a stabilizing force for the future. Fans are understandably anxious about this transition, feeling the sting of losing familiar faces while waiting to see if Jimmy Haslam and head coach Todd Monken will commit to the players who have defined our defense. With so much uncertainty surrounding these veteran contracts, we have to ask ourselves a difficult question as we look toward the start of camp. If the team is truly committed to a long-term rebuild, why would they risk losing the foundational leadership that keeps this secondary competitive in such a difficult division? The possibility of trading Denzel Ward by this season's trade deadline looms over the secondary like a dark cloud. Following the June departure of veteran pass rusher Myles Garrett, the organization seems to be signaling a pivot toward the 2027 draft, rather than chasing immediate playoff contention. Because Ward hits the age of 30 next year, a position where performance often declines, the front office is clearly weighing the benefits of acquiring future assets over maintaining an aging veteran presence. The truth is, this strategic shift makes the extension of safety Grant Delpit absolutely mandatory. Delpit is currently entering the final year of a $36 million 3-year extension, and letting a player of his caliber walk would be a massive organizational misstep. We remember how past roster purges have left our secondary thin and disorganized, and we cannot afford to repeat those same historical mistakes. Behind closed doors, head coach Todd Monken and the front office are likely grappling with the balance between the ongoing youth movement and the absolute necessity for leadership in the defensive backfield. With the 2026 arrival of rookie safety Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, there is legitimate optimism regarding a potential 3-safety alignment alongside Ronnie Hickman. However, relying solely on youth is a dangerous game for any professional franchise. Retaining a veteran anchor like Delpit provides the stability required for these younger players to develop properly under a new coaching regime. If the Browns truly intend to rebuild effectively, they must secure their core talents rather than dismantling the entire roster. Losing both a veteran cornerback and a premier safety in the same cycle would essentially hollow out our defense, leaving the coaching staff without the veteran voices needed to steer this ship through a difficult transition period. We need smart long-term decisions to ensure this secondary remains a strength for the next several seasons. As we look toward the start of training camp at the end of July, the urgency surrounding the contract status of Grant Delpit serves as a pivotal stress test for the future of this organization. This is not merely about administrative paperwork. It is a fundamental question of whether we are building a sustainable core or merely filling gaps as we navigate a difficult rebuilding phase. With Delpit entering the final year of his 3-year, $36 million extension, the front office faces a crossroads that defines our defensive identity. If we fail to lock him in, we lose a rare veteran leader who bridges the gap between our established talent and the exciting arrival of second-round draft pick Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. And that changes everything regarding our defensive scheme, as utilizing a three-safety look with Delpit, McNeil-Warren, and Ronnie Hickman could provide the stability we desperately need to stay competitive. The immediate impact is clear. Without Delpit, our depth chart becomes dangerously thin in the secondary, especially if rumors regarding the potential trade of Denzel Ward materialize after the loss of Myles Garrett. Should Ward be moved by the trade deadline, our ability to slow down aerial attacks in key divisional games becomes significantly harder, leaving our young core vulnerable against more experienced offenses. This shift puts us at a distinct disadvantage against the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, who prioritize continuity in their defensive backfields. We simply cannot enter the 2027 season without a veteran anchor on the field. If we let Delpit walk, we sacrifice our best chance to remain relevant while we focus on the 2027 draft. Keeping him is the smartest investment for a front office that must prove it knows how to retain its top assets while fostering a winning culture for the long road ahead. As we look toward the start of training camp at the end of July, the urgency to secure Grant Delpit on a new contract becomes a defining storyline for this organization. The strongest argument for extending him lies in the need for stability within a secondary that already faces deep uncertainty. By locking up the veteran safety, we ensure that the promising youth movement, headlined by 2026 second-round pick Emmanuel McNeil-Warren and the reliable Ronnie Hickman, has a proven mentor on the field. This trio could anchor our defense for years to come, providing the consistency that is essential for a team in transition. And honestly, the risk here is tied directly to our long-term salary cap health and the potential ripple effects of the current roster teardown. If we commit heavy resources to Delpit while the front office explores trading veteran cornerback Denzel Ward, we might inadvertently lock ourselves into a secondary that lacks the overall depth required to compete while we focus on the 2027 draft. Many analysts around the league are debating whether Cleveland should prioritize Delpit or wait to see if the market shifts as other teams evaluate their own safety depth charts. Some observers suggest that if the front office is truly committed to a total rebuild, they might be hesitant to hand out a major deal to any veteran, even one as impactful as Delpit. Here is where I land on this. While the prospect of trading Ward is certainly looming, I believe the speculation regarding a total sell-off of our secondary standouts is slightly overblown. We cannot simply strip the locker room of all its veteran leadership if we expect our young players to develop properly. Keeping Delpit is a foundational move that makes sense, regardless of what happens with other trade rumors circulating throughout the league today. As we look toward the start of training camp at the end of July, the Cleveland Browns face a pivotal moment regarding team identity and long-term roster construction. Grant Delpit, entering the final year of his 3-year, $36 million extension, stands as a critical pillar for our secondary. What makes this even bigger is that he serves as a necessary veteran anchor amidst our recent youth movement. While we welcome the potential of second-round draft pick Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, retaining a proven leader like Delpit is essential to maintain our competitive edge. The possibility of trading Denzel Ward by the deadline underscores a shift in organizational strategy, signaling that we are building toward the 2027 draft rather than immediate contention. For us as fans, this reality should be met with a mixture of patience and cautious optimism. While seeing veterans depart is never easy, focusing on fiscal responsibility and scouting provides the foundation for future success. We must prioritize keeping Delpit on the field to ensure our defensive backfield does not collapse during this transition period. It is vital for us to foster a culture where young talent can learn from experienced professionals before they become the sole faces of this franchise. We are at a crossroads where every contract negotiation acts as a statement of our intent for the upcoming seasons. Deciding whether to solidify the secondary with a new deal for Delpit or to clear more space for future assets is the primary concern for the front office right now. Given that we have already traded away Myles Garrett, do you believe the Browns should prioritize signing Grant Delpit to a long-term extension before training camp begins? If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Dawg Pound. I'll see you in the next one.